Standard Gains Podcast, episode 29, take 1.
Let's go.
Here we go. Yes. So today we got Julius Kahkonen.
Kahkonen.
Is that good?
That's pretty good.
That was
Okay.
pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty good.
But who is Julius? Who are you? What do you do?
I'm a full-time digital artist, online entrepreneur. I'm an online instructor, probably from like a better word.
Yep.
Photography. I also travel quite a bit, and just creative stuff, photo editing, a little bit of video. We also have a podcast with my girlfriend called Beneath the Surface.
Like, what's the name again?
What was the name of the podcast?
Yeah.
Beneath
All
the
links,
Surface,
all
yeah.
links will be in the description as well.
Right.
I mean, you took over the Photoshop account at some point on Instagram as well. I mean, I've seen some of your work. It's pretty damn sick. I mean, I do some Photoshop as well, but nothing compared to that.
One thing more is like recently I've started 3D editing as well. So I think I do 3D more nowadays than Photoshop.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, I moved to that, and that's like a whole new world, which is really exciting. So
We'll definitely
Yeah.
put up some stuff right now on the screen for those who are watching on YouTube. That's going to be very interesting to see. And I mean, we're going to be talking about basically everything from where did it start to who you are now, and basically going into all the nuggets and things that could be very interesting for people to be like, hey, this is, I want to be an artist as well, or this is super interesting. But how do you do it? How do you make a living? How do you everything basically?
Yeah.
And first, because this is the Standard Gains Podcast, I want to talk about something, because we've known each other for a while, about also working out. Because I know you, Julius, as a person who either does something like a freak or you don't do it, basically. Right? I think that's true, right?
it's quite accurate.
Yeah. So I know that at some point you started going to the gym.
Yeah, so in I think 2015 already, I went for 4 years,
Yep.
3.5 years. And I went really actively. I have a brother who's still going to the gym very actively. He's in very good shape. And he got me motivated to go to the gym as well. And I was super skinny, tall and super skinny. And then I went to the gym for 9 months and got everything sort of handed to me on a golden plate. Like I wasn't really eating like really well, but at least I got all the proteins and stuff like that.
Plenty of calories.
I had like a very bulk type of calorie setup. I was eating way too much, so I gained a lot of fat. I think in 9 months I gained 20 kilos, which is
that's
and
amazing.
I have stretch marks everywhere here. I was just eating way too much.
You still have it.
The stretch marks are everywhere. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, I became pretty big, and then in 2018, when high school finished, I started traveling for the first time ever, and I went to Indonesia, and then I lost like 14 kilos there. So all of it went away.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then after that, actually, I've never gotten back to that active routine since 2018. And I had like on and off a lot, but I haven't gotten back to it. And now,
You want to get back to it?
yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
That's nice.
It's a really, I would probably do it more for just my health.
Yeah.
And in general, just like to feel that routine of doing it every single day. I think it balances life out pretty nicely, that you're just like going every single day. And you can sort of build your day
Routine,
around that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Structure.
But you moved more towards calisthenics as well, right? At some point, at least.
I would like to.
You'd like to.
I think one of the biggest reasons why I also stopped was that my brother and his friends started doing like strength workouts where they were just doing like 3 reps or something like that with very heavy weights. And I think I partly broke some parts of my body by doing that because it was just stupid. I didn't like it at all. And then I lost the motivation for that pretty quickly. And then I felt like I don't really want to do the same like weightlifting all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But a few months ago, I tried it again. I went to the gym pretty actively for a while, and it was completely like nice again.
Okay, so that's basically sort of what could define you a little bit, as in like if you have something on your mind, you're going to go 110% for it 16 hours a day. Is that
I mean, we're probably going to talk about our background a little bit as well. But yeah, I used to be a complete mess with stuff like that. And still sometimes nowadays, if there's something that I'm really excited about, I dive into it like crazy. And then my whole life sort of becomes that one thing, like 3D or editing or whatever it is. It's just takes over.
So that takes over your life.
Yeah,
But
pretty much.
Okay, so let's talk about your life. Where did it start? Well, you were born, but towards getting to who you are right now, the artist, well, basically everything you do right now. How did you go this path?
All right, so there's a pretty standard storyline for everything, how it went down. So I got access to a camera for the first time in 2016, in the beginning of 2016, March 2016. Basically, I didn't have my own camera, but my dad had gotten a camera from his dad, so my grandpa, and that was like a really bad camera. And I do remember having this thought often in my mind that it would be cool to take photos. I don't know where that came from. Maybe because my dad has filmed our whole childhood. There's tens of thousands of photos and videos.
That's
so
cool to have.
Yeah, so cameras were always sort of around. And there are videos of like my siblings and me as well, like playing around with like our dad's cameras, whatever. And yeah, then I just took the camera out one evening, drove with my scooter couple of kilometers to like a place where the sun sets, and then I took some images. I got really interested in it immediately. I don't know why.
Okay.
But it just interested me, and then I went on YouTube looking at like editing tutorials or like how can I edit photos.
This
Not
is all
Photoshop.
2016.
Yeah.
What age were you there?
2017.
17.
Maybe
No,
good to
16
also say,
still.
when you say I drove my scooter, it's not like you lived in a big city. You're from
No,
Finland,
no.
in like a super beautiful nature area. So
Yeah.
That could
It's
help.
not really.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily call it super beautiful where I'm from.
Okay.
It's more so just flat and nothingness, just fields.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, it's sort of beautiful, I guess. It's just there's not much to see, to be honest. Yeah, but I had like a scooter that my dad fixed for me, which is like 80 euros if I remember right, like completely one of those Chinese brand scooters that are like about to break down any second. And yeah, not really access to anything. I had never been anywhere. I was just always in the town. There's 3,000 people who live in that town, so it's very small. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, that's where the interest for photography started. Then I just like got more and more interested in it. I was driving around. I always went everywhere alone because no one was interested in taking images. So yeah, I was just driving around the town, taking images wherever, and then building up the skills from there. But Photoshop was not involved in this moment. Yeah, it came a little later then.
When did that come in?
So Photoshop started when I got tired of photographing the boring areas around my town. It was like, what can I do here? Like, I see all these beautiful images that people take on Instagram. I was like, these are taken in the craziest locations in the world. I don't have access. I don't have money. I don't have like, I don't know how to travel. I don't really speak English that well. And then I just went online, opened Photoshop for, again, random reason. I don't know why. But I had used Photoshop before a little bit as a kid, like maybe as a 12-year-old, like play around with some text things and whatever.
So there was interest sort of from yourself from within already, basically?
Yeah, something like that.
And then just general interest in online photos, stuff like that.
I don't know why.
Yeah, okay.
And I think even before the camera, I took some images with my phone. And I removed all of, like, I used to do what every single teenager did on Instagram, like posting images of yourself, blah, blah, blah. I removed all of that, and then I started posting, like, some sort of phone images and edited them a little bit somewhere. And then I remember getting comments from people like why did you do that? Like, why are you posting this in weird images now? It's a pretty standard response from people.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that's good that you mentioned it, because a lot of people who want to start building their brand, whether it's about business, about fitness, about photography, the first sort of reply you start getting from people around is, "Oh, why are you doing it?" I had the same when I started posting things. You probably had.
I had the exact same.
Yeah. And then it's just important to, if it's something that you enjoy and you want to keep doing, I think it's super important that you just push through, and probably at some point, rather than saying, "Why are you doing this?" is, "Hey, can you teach me how to do this?" That's how it sort of changes, right? From people.
Yeah, I think the response first was very much like, "This is weird. Like, why are you doing that?" Or like, I don't think anyone ever made that you're not gonna make it. No one ever said something like that. But quite often there was like sort of like, that's sort of weird.
Yeah.
And then later on, some of these people, of course, then have thought, okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I
But,
mean, that's
it's like
the,
such a the classic cliche
yeah,
reaction
but it's true.
from anyone.
it's the exact same thing. I mean, you can have it multiple times. I did even twice. Obviously, when you start YouTube, 2013, you're like 13, 14 years old. Everyone's like, "Why are you posting videos of yourself online?" And then I started to change up the content as well in 2015, 16 to fitness, from basically funny videos to fitness. And then it was just like, what are you even doing? Why are you doing this? Basically the same thing.
Yeah, well, I was interested to see like how did you start. I just went to your YouTube channel, checked the oldest things, and there's like
Completely
a video
different.
when you were a little kid answering questions. I thought that was really cool that you started so early. 7 years ago was that video that I just watched recently.
Yeah, I started like
great.
8. I think some videos are for obvious reasons are privated, but I mean, I'm not privated all of the videos because I feel like they're part of the journey as well. Of
course.
So like, yes, there's some awful videos there, some really interesting stuff,
Yeah.
but I just keep them there because I feel like that's just part of the journey.
Yeah. I used to actually do YouTube videos as well with my brother, but about a very weird topic. I don't know if
I
you
remember,
know.
yes.
Do you know speed stacking or sports stacking? Have you ever seen
Sports-
those? It's like there's cups, and then you do.
Oh, yeah.
You
But
stack them in like different warm, and then you're
Yeah.
like, I was like super fast at that, and I got into it. Our parents bought like a set for us on Christmas, and then we got into this sport.
I mean, I would
like
not even call
crazy.
this weird subject. This is like,
No, but it is a very good example of how when Julius starts doing something, he just starts, because I've seen those videos. It's super. It's like how many hours of practice went into
Every
that?
day. It was like something that we did with my brother all the time. It was like sometimes even if our friends asked us to go outside, no, I can't, I'm stacking. It was like
No,
that
I
type of
can't.
thing. Yeah, but we were obsessed with that thing. And it was like, we were always competing about like a few milliseconds of increase in like the records. It was like, we started screaming if we got like 199 seconds.
Yeah.
If the past record was 203 or whatever, something
Yeah.
like that. And it was super. Every single day we did it, and we did YouTube videos about it. And I think all of those are private though right now. I don't know.
I found that sport basically what it is. I found it super interesting because I mean, I'm kind of into world records and stuff like that. And I just noticed those as well. I think a few years ago already, and I was like, "Damn, that's like the coordination there." And if I would try that, that would literally break the
interesting.
cups.
Yeah.
And then-
I tried it. I tried it. I think a year ago with my little brother, and my little brother got also interested in immediately when I showed him, and he like got pretty good at it as well. And he started doing it at the same age. He's not doing it anymore, but he did it for like a year, and he got pretty good at it. But I tried it just as a joke since like many years, and I broke my records from when I was small. I don't know what had happened. Maybe because I'm older and I can like coordinate things like maybe even a little bit better and understand like what do I need to do better.
yeah,
with
kind of,
it.
yeah.
You have some cups here, down here. We'll try it in the end.
We have some cups there. I don't think they're the right cups.
No, I don't think so. No, it's
Was
beer
like
pong
not the right
cups, but
cups.
you know.
Yeah, but yeah, YouTube was like something that we also did
Yeah.
for a while. So all of these things I think have like built up over time, like photography, social media, YouTube, whatever. Like it's just like slowly been on the background, and then at some point I've just
Okay.
But that's probably the nice thing, because I know there's been one photo which sort of made everything pop. But
Yeah.
the issue is, of course, in order to get that photo and create the photo, you had to travel, right, to take the images.
Actually, in that moment, not yet. So now
Okay.
we get to the part of when the Photoshop came around. So I was bored of taking photos. So then I started like editing my photos in Photoshop, and I realized that you can actually create composites there. You can combine multiple photos to create like one single artwork, and it immediately I think that was the first time I had a concept of dream in my life, that I actually had like a one big dream that I want to fulfill one day, which was one day I want to take images and be able to create stuff from my own images in Photoshop. But I started with free stock images from a website called Unsplash, and then Pixabay, and some others. And I just downloaded a bunch of images from there. And my routine was that I went to school, and then every time I came home, I edited like a new artwork. And I didn't have my own computer, so I was always on my brother's computer, and we were always like fighting with my brother, like, you always on my computer, like I need to be on my computer, blah blah blah. So yeah, I was just editing those, and then one morning It's actually, I skipped school because I was so, as you said, I get obsessed. So I was just so interested in the editing stuff that I skipped school. I went to take, ordered pizza from a local pizza place, came home, started eating pizza, I'm editing an image like I normally always do. During the day at some point I created an artwork. And then this artwork, I posted it, went to the gym normally, came back, and it had like blown up during the time I was at the gym. And there was nothing like, I guess the image then just stood out a lot because still up to this day, people say that that's like their favorite from me. Like there was something special about that.
I wanted to ask this. Like first of all, obviously blown up. What does that mean in the Photoshop world or the picture world? Like how do you determine if it blew up?
So on Instagram, there are a lot of feature pages for images and edits and stuff like that. So what happened is while I was at the gym, I always tagged 20 accounts to my image, and I always used like the proper hashtags for my brand.
Yeah.
And then I just started getting features out of nowhere. Every single page of sharing, it got hundreds of reshares. And then like at the time, if I went to my tagged images, it was only like reshares of this one image, and big pages with like millions and millions of followers.
So in total, it got millions and millions of likes.
Yeah, in total, yeah.
Yeah, in total, yeah. So that's very interesting. And then out of basically, well, why did it go viral? Maybe first question.
So I think it was something like the people hadn't seen before because it sort of like looks real. I'm not sure if you edit anything into the podcast, but like
if you're watching on YouTube, we'll pull it up right now.
We'll pull it up right now.
So it had like colors that really are like appealing to anyone who doesn't understand colors. It had cyan and orange that are like opposite colors of each other, which really work together well. And then the idea in general, there was a torii gate in the middle, like a Japanese torii gate, and then bunch of like floating lanterns on water. And it was like this mystical landscape thing. And I named the artwork Guiding Light. And so there was like a little bit of a story behind the artwork, but it wasn't really that much different to me personally at the time.
Yeah.
Like it was just another artwork for me, and I didn't expect that one to go. It's always the videos or photos that you think yourself that would not really do well. Like sometimes they just do the best. So yeah, this one blew up, and then I think it's a combination of starting and being at the right place at the right time, and just having that sort of lucky break where one big page shares it, then the other page realized that, oh, this image did really well for them, so I'm going to share it as well for our page. And then it's this snowball effect of everyone sharing it, and then all of the followers or all the people who are on Instagram in this niche, they follow all these feature pages. So when they scroll on the feed, it's like, oh, this image, I just saw this 10 seconds ago. Then they scroll for like 10 minutes more and they're like, oh, I've seen this image now 5 times. Who is this guy? Then they click on it and then they get interested.
So did that really grow your account super fast as well?
Well, I think in a few months I got from 6,000 to like 30-ish thousand, a little bit less than 30,000. And then, of course, nothing would have happened if I wouldn't have continued. But I was so into it. And of course, when you sort of break through, then your motivation and interest like increases even more. So then I was just like probably like doing the triple amount of work that I was doing at the time.
Oh, nice.
Because then I thought like, okay, there's probably some opportunities out of this. And then I started getting contacted by a lot of people and so on. And it just sort of grew and grew and grew.
And now how many followers are you at?
464,000. But I haven't been doing Instagram as actively lately, so it's like going sort of down.
Nice.
I don't really stress about numbers. So
I feel like, just a side note, Instagram, I mean, I think Instagram will be struggling to be around in 5 years.
Yeah.
I agree.
Most likely.
I mean, if there's no other platform coming up that's similar in terms of photos and stuff, or another platform doesn't integrate that, then they will be around, because obviously a lot of people are still using Instagram.
But Twitter is taking over.
Yes, well, one of the things I also noticed at Instagram, of course, we made a whole podcast about what we think is an issue with Instagram. But in general, they're trying to push video content more and more and more as well, because they see that that's what people want from TikTok, from YouTube Shorts. And I think photography is not the main thing about Instagram anymore. So they should either decide, okay, Instagram is photos, we go back to where we started, or as you said, it's probably it's Twitter is going to take over, even though
So I mean they will be around in 5 years, but it depends on what kind of form, because it used to be obviously started as the average person posting a picture, then people went viral. So that you had influencers on there and just people making insane artwork. So people, especially for artwork, those go viral as well. But now I feel like it's just a platform that isn't the best at anything. Maybe for pictures a little bit, but then again, the pictures, I mean, you can also find them on Twitter as well, and Facebook as well. And I feel
think I would personally say that the worst thing about Instagram is that the sense of community died like ages ago already. There's no community there. On Twitter, you can actually share your image and like say something about like the image, and there's always people in the comments like discussing and so on.
Get
And on Instagram,
thoughts.
it's like, oh, sick photo, cool.
Yeah, it's all
because everyone is trying to get a piece of something to themselves. So they think that, okay, I'm gonna be active on Instagram. I'm gonna comment, cool, sick, bro, epic.
fire emoji.
Yeah, I'm like, it's like
that's true. And I think on Twitter it's much more common to just retweet.
Yeah,
you would retweet much faster than you would repost something on Instagram.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, Instagram is still massive, and it's gonna be massive probably. But I feel like it's not good. It's not the best at anything right now. For a lot of niches.
I'm thinking a lot of like different ventures myself. I'm not stressing about the fact that Instagram is dying. I don't think it's like really dying, but it's not really exciting me as much as it used to. And I'm glad that I haven't built my business completely around like depending completely on Instagram, because a lot of friends of mine have it like that.
So speaking of, building your business, how do you make your money?
So first off, when I started Instagram, there was no goal of anything with it. That I didn't know that there's even chances of making money in any type of way. It was sort of just once everything blew up, I got contacted by the founder of MySpace, Tom Anderson, who's found MySpace, and he emailed me saying that, hey, like I saw your viral image and I thought it was really cool, and I think it's crazy what you do.
Was MySpace still around at that time?
No.
Okay.
No.
Because I don't even remember when that went away.
He wrote in the email, I'm from MySpace, maybe before your time. So like he sort of understood that MySpace is long gone.
Yeah.
So he emailed me, asked if I want to do a collaboration, and then we did a collab together, and he like sort of maybe mentored me even for a while. He like sent me books. He was like even about to send me a laptop. I was like, what? Like, because I didn't have my own computer. I was like, I don't know. He was like really helpful, and he brought up this idea of maybe like selling courses about my skills.
So the collab with him was just how did that go? In terms of he asked, "Do you want to do this?" You said yes, or was it a paid collab?
No, just a collab with like a mutual collab that he posts on his feed, and he mentions me there. Blah blah blah. It was just like I made the image out of his images.
That's what I wanted to point out. Like you instantly said he sort of mentored me. He was worth a lot, like to me, and even that you would have missed out if, for example, it would have been not paid, but you wanted to get paid as an artist, which makes sense. But it was like a sort of mutual.
No, this
thing.
was just a lot of the collabs I did at the time were more so just like friendly collabs with each other. But he was very helpful in the sense that because he is a business person himself, and it even said in his bio something that I'm devoting my life now after retirement to like helping others as much as possible. And maybe he saw something in my skills or whatever, so he gave me like a friendly pointer that, hey, maybe courses could be a thing. And that's sort of then what I started doing. I first did it as like an affiliate for another course selling website. And I got like 30% from there from my own products. And then after a month that they had been there, I promoted to my Instagram. They sent out an email with their email list, and it was like 16,000 euros in sales, and I got 30% from that, or like something along that line. I just remember the PayPal notification popping, and I had never made money in my life from anything pretty much. Not even a summer job, because we lived in a small town. There was only one summer job available for like people my age every summer, and someone always got it other than me. And then, yeah, then like a notification, a couple €2,000 popped in. I went to my parents like, look, I just made like $2,000. I was like, what?
Yeah.
And then that sort of started that idea like, hey, maybe there is a chance to somehow do this full time in the future. And then I started building my own course platform, and I created more and more courses all the time. And some of the courses did really well. Some of them did a little bit worse. And then over time, I just kept doing that. But then the work started taking over my life because I was literally not going to school anymore. And I was working crazy hours because I was doing everything myself.
But I define crazy hours.
14, 16 hours
Every
quite
day.
often.
Yeah.
No, not every day, but quite often.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was just sometimes too tired to go to school. Even in school, like I was on my laptop quite often. And at some point, even some of the like, got the possibility to like be on my laptop in class, just working on my stuff. Some of the teachers probably then just realized that, hey, maybe I found my thing and maybe I should give this person an opportunity to like approach that. So yeah, that was really cool. So I got like very obsessed then very quick. And
yeah, that's what I was wondering in terms of because you just mentioned Instagram, as in like lots of my peers, lots of my sort of colleagues are basically people doing the same thing as you online. They built their entire business on Instagram. So how are you different from that? Why or how did you differentiate that?
So I've never ever done a collaboration with another a paid collaboration with another company. It's very common in our industry that people travel and they do like hotel collabs or something like that on the road against content. So the hotel gets content and the people who stay, they get a free stay. But there's usually not money involved. Sometimes there is, not often. And yeah, those are pretty much like the only collabs I've done. I've maybe done like some small things. One thing I did with Adobe in the past, like an edit collab or something with Adobe. That's like the only thing I've done. Other than that, I haven't done it. So like my money comes from my own products that I can promote also elsewhere than my Instagram. I hardly ever
that's the interesting thing. You have the courses, but if you like, say for example, your audience is on Instagram and you sell them through there.
I used to only do it in the beginning through my account, and then I sort of got introduced to each other, or you sent me a message on Instagram. We get to that probably soon, but like I just thought that it doesn't make any sense for me personally. If there's an opportunity to make money passively, why would I put so much effort into trying to contact all these companies when there could be a moment in the world where you can't get any collabs? And that happened with COVID. Like so many people lost all their jobs. They couldn't travel anymore. Like their main source of income got rid. Like immediately it was just gone. And for me, sales just went up because everyone was at home. People were thinking like, I don't want to waste my time. I want to do something like useful. And then they got a lot of courses and stuff like that, I guess.
Aren't most, because we're now speaking about courses, I know that you also make maybe most money from your other products that you send.
So nowadays, a big portion of the income comes from like Photoshop like tools, brushes and stuff that people can use in their artworks. And that that's more of like an impulse buy product. Like I've created ads around the product that look cool, like really cool, and you can see like how the effects sort of are applied to images, and people just get interested in it, and it worked really well. But even that has now, like, of course, over time, I've been doing it for like 2 years soon. It's like slowly going down, and then you always have to come up with something new. Like with social media, always you need to keep inventing. And during COVID, I haven't really done that much, to be honest. So now it's been more so just maybe enjoying a little bit of the fruits of the success and take it a little easier. And then now again, it's time to like do something.
Okay. Because so we've got who is Julius, where did it start, and we got the business aspect to it as well. And when you kept referring to Bob, so why are you on this podcast? How do we know you?
Maybe funny to it's a funny story why I contacted Julius. So at some point I was doing coaching and mentorships, and I was thinking, how can I had about at that point, I think 20,000 followers. How can I get more coaching student? And there was this 16-year-old kid from Belgium who came to me and said, I don't have money, but I want you to help me. I have a plan for you. So what he did is he made an Excel list of everyone who was following me. He put that into groups of how big their account was, so 100K plus and then 80 to 100K. And then he would, in the Excel list, give colors to this person is probably interested in your coaching, this person is into digital marketing, this person is into other things. And the first account I saw, because it was at the top, was this account, VisualsOfJulius, who was apparently following me.
And I followed you because I had seen you on Eman's
exactly
stories.
Yeah. And there was a time that that was Eman's mentor, and that was good for my brand. So I remember I showed you a message like, hey, super cool content, like, let's hop on a call. And you were so reluctant to find a mentor because you were getting messages the whole time of people saying, yeah, I'll mentor you. I just want to have like 20% of the money you make or something.
Yeah, or something crazy. And I had been in calls before with like really annoying people who like
those are the worst management.
Seemed really cool. And then towards the end of the call, all we want is like half of what you earn or whatever. I was like, yeah, no thanks. And I was really young at the time. So it was like those type of moments were really uncomfortable me, and I didn't really know how to handle them. So I was always scared of going into calls like that because I knew myself that I could maybe even accept something stupid because I didn't know any better. But what was different about Bob contacting me was that he contacted me with a video message. On Instagram, not a lot of people send you a video message. They just send you a text message. I probably wouldn't even have replied to you if you would have only sent a text message. But I got immediately interested because it was more a personal approach. And I can
nowadays people do. I get it more. I get it more often.
Yeah.
I get it more often.
Yeah, there's this little social story selling method which I used to do on Instagram. I think it still works. So what I would normally do, that's not what I did with you, but I would put a poll in, for example, hey, I'm going to talk about sales. Do you ever struggle with sales? And you could only say yes, basically. And
I
then
remember this technique.
Yeah, and then I would give some value about sales, and then let me know what you struggle with. And everyone who would reply to the poll. Everyone who I thought would have the money to pay me, I would actually send them a personal video message. It would take me a day, but normally I would get 2 or 3 new students out of that in just one day because video messages are super strong.
Yeah.
But yeah, back to the story. So we started working together in the beginning, and that's something I think is interesting because we've spoken about the sport niche being different from the business niche when it comes to courses. Then Julius and I thought, let's do a workshop together, a creative workshop, which we've done. We had to think about the price. So it was a 2-day workshop, all together. We'd both spend like 10 hours a day, just teaching whatever we knew to those people. And we spoke about pricing. And if I think about those things, pricing in the business niche, like 3,000-4,000 euros, easy to pay.
For a weekend, basically.
For a weekend, yeah.
And that is without stay and without, or with?
Yeah, nothing.
Okay.
So then we discussed this, and we came to the price that you still found very high for your audience, which was 495 euros for, and you got so much shit from people saying, how dare you like charge that much money for a weekend? I was like, wait, that's nothing.
Because it's the creative niche is very big. It's super easy to start. First off, anyone can download Photoshop, anyone can like take images with their phone or whatever, or use the stock image website or whatever, and very small percentage is making money with it. It's more of a hobby, less of a job for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So if someone is like wants to learn more about it, they're like, I don't have the money to learn about it, but
I want to, and then they feel offended because they're just so far from what they can do.
Well, it's the exact like always the argument that I can just go to YouTube and find it. I mean, yeah, sure, go ahead.
Yeah, but good luck.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But the workshop was really fun. I enjoyed it. I got like my first sort of experience of teaching live, and I learned a lot from it. We got constructive criticism, and it's like if we ever would do something like that again, I would know what to avoid. And like my biggest problem is that like as an instructor, it's really important to strip down to the basics and really like try to understand who your viewer is and how to basically teach in a way that, okay, the person who's watching this doesn't know anything. And it's really hard when you are sort of advanced with your own skills already to the point where you don't have to even think what you're doing because everything goes so easily.
Yeah.
And a lot of the courses that are on the market are people who don't really
know how to teach.
So I really tried in my courses then to like simplify everything as much as possible. But in a workshop, it's impossible to get people who are on the exact same level with the skill. So that was like the biggest issue, I think.
Yeah,
But
we had people who were pretty good, and then we had Ivo, who's filming right now. Well, basically, he was filming for us, and then of course he could also join the workshop. But I don't think he. Ivo, did you ever work with Photoshop before? No. So we had like different levels, but that was fine. Like you knew some things were just too advanced.
Yeah.
But probably to answer your question, why are you here? I think there's a little project we're doing right now together. That's cool to talk about, and maybe it goes back to that viral video or photo that you once made, basically, which was the ToriiGate.
Yeah. So we are currently working on like a really exciting NFT collectible project. You've done an episode on NFTs, most
Yes.
likely.
We had John
but
Weatherby.
we should maybe still like explain NFTs soon. But
definitely.
basically,
Teach it as basic as possible.
yeah. So before we explain NFTs, this whole idea for the project started from this viral image.
Yeah.
So I explained that there's this ToriiGate in the middle of the water and some lanterns and stuff like that, inspired by like, the Asian landscapes and whatnot. And yeah, basically, Bob contacted me and said that, hey, like we should work on a project like this maybe. And I got really interested because my girlfriend, who's also here, has done really well in the NFT world already. And I've been sort of like lurking on the background and finding like my way, like, should I join it? And if I do join it, how do I join it? And now this has been the perfect opportunity. But for the people who don't know what an NFT is, NFT stands for non-fungible token. And non-fungible means that it's basically not changeable to something else. Like if you have gold, you can trade with gold against gold and it's like the same value. Yep. But NFTs is like it's something unique. You cannot replace it with something else. Interchangeable. That's the word for it. And NFTs it doesn't only have to be photos. It can be music. It can be
a tweet,
anything. Yeah. And it's basically a proof of ownership. So it's like a digital ownership proof.
Yeah.
I think that's like the most simple way to explain it. And the reason why it's so big is that, for example, these type of collections that come out, there's a very limited supply of them. And there's usually a community built around these projects, and some of the projects have like a really important history within the world as well. So they have value. For example, CryptoPunks, which are these pixelated characters that are like in the millions already. Some of them, they basically were like one of the first projects. And the thing why some of them get so big is because it's such a small amount that there is something unique out there. I think we're going to have something around 6,000.
Yeah. And probably important to say, so we have a generative NFT, and what that means is basically Julius is now working fully obsessed, fully 12-hour a day, 7 days a week almost again on creating all the separate assets. So it will have a gate, sure. So we have different gates that you made. We have different skies, we have different floors, we have different subjects, so people or animals. And basically what we will do in the end is the software will just put it all together and generate 6,000 unique ones. We don't even know which 6,000 will be generated until the moment they have been generated.
Yeah, and I think it's pretty cool that like, I'm basically just creating PNGs. I create them in Cinema 4D. It's a 3D program. And I'm just creating about 100, probably it might go up to like 140, 150 different elements. And then there's a team of developers who just like create the code and the parameters on how these get combined. And I would say that it's like the most time consuming and sort of a really cool art project that I've been a part of. And I'm really excited to join like the space and try to like sort of just explore new things. And I'm like really stoked in general about like being part of it and doing like something. It's called ToriiScapes, the name. I think we can like
it's
that
ToriiScapes.
already. Yeah,
we'll also link that down below. Just a little
to
help
plug,
us.
sure. Little plug
here. But I think the cool thing with NFTs is it's still a new market, sort of. Even though we've spoken about it in the past, it is new. It is a hype at the moment. But I think if you do it, same with every business, right? If you want to make a workout course, if you want to make a Photoshop course, whatever you do, don't go for the super quick win. You've spent so much time in your course, Stan, just creating it and making it good. You've spent a shit ton of time in your course and now on this thing. And I think everywhere where you go right now, NFTs or anything, just wait a few months. If it takes a few months longer, it's fine, because that will actually increase the chance of being successful. And I think that's what we're doing. I think that's what you're doing, Stan, with your courses, because there's so many, as you said, shitty courses as well out there.
There's so many.
Yeah.
And with NFTs, you can generate a project probably in a day if you use some stupid software, and if it goes viral, you can make millions, sure, but it probably won't because, well, it's not the quality people want.
I think the biggest issue with NFTs, and one of the reasons why I didn't join, is it felt like a lot of people who didn't make any money during COVID on Instagram came to Twitter, and then they tried to grab quick cash from somewhere. And a lot of these people who sold like their NFT for like 2-3 Ethereum or something like that, they like immediately then left and didn't weren't part of it anymore. But my girlfriend Michelle instead approached it completely in a unique way. She created like a whole strategy on like how to sort of approach the space, and she's been very successful. It's been inspiring to see that there's like multiple different sections of the NFT world as well. There's the collectibles, but then there's also one-on-one pieces that you can market and try to sell to collectors. So there's art collectors, like in the real world as well, who are interested in different types of art, and most of the time they want to like invest into the artist or whatever. And this has been really cool to see. And I think I'm more myself like interested in the like generative stuff, because there's just something so cool that you can create assets and then it just generates like this random artwork that still looks sort of cool.
It was super interesting to hear how everything was sort of coming together, and everything was sort of automatically generated, but in a way where it still needs a lot of work, obviously, from the back end, and it's a big project. And we went out for dinner yesterday, and I got super as well excited. It sounded super interesting as well. Wanted to learn more about it. But then I explained it late at night to my parents, and I couldn't get them to understand why someone would buy an NFT.
Yeah,
I could not get them to understand it.
Maybe good. So there's you can add utility to NFT. So holding an NFT gives you the right to do something, gives you whatever. So one of the things that we will do, we'll mainly be doing giveaways. So for example, 20 people, what the first things we'll do, will actually get a super high quality poster of the NFT they bought. So you actually have a physical artwork. You could get access to a course, for example, by holding one, if you do it technically. You can go to meetups or mentorship groups or whatever we did in the past because of it. There's a lot of things you can add. But another thing, why would you buy a Picasso?
Or why would you buy Pokemon cards?
Or Pokemon cards.
Exactly, but I mean, I can't get them to understand why someone would buy Pokemon cards either. So, but they understand art, but also not in a way that obviously, like they understand why someone would buy Picasso or a Mona Lisa or something. But they do like the fair point, obviously, to look at. Yes, but that's like a few people in the world that either obviously could afford that, but would want that for their wealth, basically.
Okay, but posters.
So
right. A lot of people buy posters of something.
Yeah, but that's like $10 versus a $500 NFT. That's something.
But I would say that you need to approach it with the mindset of that you are actually collecting something. I guess again, for example, myself, I was super into collecting whatever when I was a kid, like candy papers even. I had a box of different candy papers, I thought that was cool. I had all my Pokemon cards in like these plastic like things. It was like, what do you call that? Leaflet? I don't know, something. Some sort of like a plastic thing where there was a slot like for one card, and we had like a collection. And I remember collecting a lot of things with my brother when we were kids. And I think you have to approach it with the mindset of like,
also
it's collecting something that you are interested in, and you don't have to justify why exactly are you doing that. There's a lot of art collectors who just enjoy the art. It doesn't have to be more than.
But that's also a good point, because I want to say that the art, especially what you guys are creating, with a lot of work, and I mean maybe even a better example would be your girlfriend with the one-on-one. Like if you see that work, that's insane, and that is. But if you would try to justify why someone, I mean, those are the first guys in the space. What would someone buy an ugly ape? That's a.
Well, that one is very different. So if you own a Bored Ape or if you own a CryptoPunk, that is very high social status.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. That makes sense. So that's also sort of use case again. Yeah. So that makes sense. Or But there's so many projects launching. Why would someone buy, for example, just a randomly generated something, and then it goes, it sells for 1 ETH, and probably at some point maybe dies out because it's not something special. There's no use case to it or something like that. That's probably just a hype part, and that's it's super hard to understand why there will be thousands of people in the world to spend like, I don't know, 3K on something that is actually, and most likely there's no use case. It's probably going to be only worthless, or someone has to want it real bad. So there has to be use.
There's always
or it has to look good.
Yeah, well, a lot of them don't look.
Yeah, exactly. That's the point.
But you have to remember that a lot of these are avatar projects, which means that like the use case is to use it as your profile image, and that's where you can. It's sort of like having a Rolex on your wrist at this point. Like some of them, like the CryptoPunks and apes, it's pretty crazy like how expensive they have gotten. But I think it's like anything in the world. Like a lot of older people, or older generation people would think like, why would I invest into Bitcoin? And the reason why people invest in the Bitcoin is they either believe in it or they see Elon Musk or whoever promoting it and they think, okay, this person who's way higher than me monetarily or success-wise is saying that I should get into it. Okay, I'm going to get into it. So a lot of people who are in it don't really understand what they're doing.
Why they're in it.
Yeah, they don't really understand what they're doing. But since there's so much hype built around it, they want to be part of it. But there's also a very big community who understand what they are about and who actually see the longevity of it. And I think that's why it's not going to go away like immediately. There's always going to be people who join and then leave immediately, but there's also a very big community in the NFT space already.
Yeah, maybe another good thing to mention is what I've noticed myself buying and selling NFTs is you stop realizing how much money it is. So you think, oh, it's only 0.4 ETH.
Yes, that's also
and you think, okay, 0.4 ETH, that doesn't sound like a lot, even though that might be like $1,600, $2,000, right? So it's very easy to sort of lose touch with how much money you're actually spending on things. When we were discussing the price for our project, we never spoke about dollars or euros. We only spoken about how much ETH we will be doing it.
So I think at this point it's good to mention that NFTs work on the blockchain Ethereum, which and on the blockchain Ethereum, the currency is called Ether, and all of the stuff is like paid in Ethereum. So that's why it's super easy to sort of lose track. And a lot of the collectors who are in the one-on-one space, for example, they don't really think about dollars at this point anymore, or probably never have. But there's also some collectors who have been like in Ethereum for such a long time that they have a very high supply of it. So they're like, okay, I have my money, but Ethereum is sort of like, it's like just chocolate coins for us, for them.
Yeah.
So,
There are more and more projects on Solano and Cardano coming, by the way, but it's still 99% Ethereum.
Yeah, so Ethereum, it's like a lot of people invest also into like Ethereum itself. And within the blockchain Ethereum, there's a lot of different like things that work, that like NFTs and a lot of like contracts, whatever. Like it can be, it's such a, I don't really know that much about.
Let's not get too technical here.
No, but like, yeah, there's like different sort of ways to invest into the whole space of crypto and whatever. But I'm like highly interested myself in the NFT stuff.
Yeah. I think it's a super cool project to do. I think it's super interesting to learn. Like, if all goes well, then it's going to be super interesting for us financially. If all does not go well, I think we've learned so much about blockchain, about everything. And of course, we assume and we hope it will go well. But just doing the project itself, you learn so much from it. And that ties us back to, who was saying it again? It was Ben Paulson in our podcast. So you either win or you learn. And I think that really is here as well. So you either win big or we will learn a lot.
And for me personally, as like an art junkie who like loves to create stuff like that, like for me it's more like always about the process. Like I for example, in a WhatsApp group, for some reason I like love to just show them the technical stuff. I don't know if they care about the technical because I just like post it, like I create this like this and that and I get like really
that's
deep
epic.
into the creative process. And for me, that's just like really cool. I've learned a lot about like how the 3D program works because I'm quite new to the like three-dimensional like art creation. So it's really cool to be like creating a project like this where I get to build my skill set, and no matter how it goes, won already something from it, which is like the skill sets. And I'm like,
exactly. Like my favorite videos or whatever extra credit stuff in the world are just to watch, are basically the behind the scenes of big movies and thoughts behind and how everything was made. Obviously the movie itself or something like that as well, but like, or a photo or picture, but like the before and after, basically the thought process and how to go from nothing to something, that is basically the most interesting thing. And then once it's online, obviously it's cool.
And we have gone through so many iterations of this project already. Like I created the first draft, then I asked for like opinions from other artist friends, like, what do you think of this? And then I got like, that's like sort of, maybe you should change this and that. And it has slowly like formed into the final sort of composition and everything. And like I always ask them about like the team about like, what do you think of this element? Should we keep this and that? And it's like a collaborative effort that is new to me, because I'm so used to doing everything on my own. And I love to be part of something where I can like there's other people involved, and it's not only like up to me how like things work.
So this project will be sort of launching when
mid-November, end November, and I think we can. I haven't discussed this with Julius or Hunter or anyone. I think we can give away one NFT for anyone listening if they want.
Most likely, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's going to be for people interested. It should be worth like $400 or $500. You probably have to be. We'll make sure that in the description we'll write down what you have to do. But
yeah, okay, that's a good one. We're doing a giveaway.
We're doing a giveaway. We've never done it on the podcast, but
that is very nice. That's very nice.
Yeah.
Okay, cool, cool. That's nice. So that project is coming up. So that
all depends on my PC speed. My PC has not really been liking the massive project, so we have to just see how it goes. It's currently crashing a lot, but that's why I'm working 12 hours a day to try to like get some of the stuff.
Just
done.
get the PC ready now. All right, so that's what you're busy working with on right now.
Currently,
So that's one of those like going for it 110%, 16 hours a day. Let's go.
Yeah.
So basically, where would you see yourself? Oh, I hate the question. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where do you see yourself in 10 years? But what is the next thing for you to spend all your time on 16 hours a day?
I say this every single time, and I hate saying it because I know that it's so hard for me for some reason to fulfill, but YouTube is like the thing that I really, really want to do. I've done it when I was young for a while, not really with any type of idea behind it, just post some videos there. And I know that YouTube has so many opportunities for making basically a creative career last longer in general. You can create a sense of community, you can create your own brand, you can build products around the whole YouTube infrastructure, and no one is going to call you a sellout because most likely the products that you're going to sell are actually helpful, and if you do it in a nice way, your viewers will like understand that, hey, this is like great value. Most likely your audience will be like, oh, this course is really something that I want to get.
If I would be selling it for $1,500 in the business niche, they would be like, "Yo, what the fuck is this?" But I mean, I guess it also depends, because if you will be having something that's related to what you do right now, either Photoshop or 3D or something, and you have a course in that area, you'd rather probably want to have it instead of being $500 and help, one person or a day, if that's something like that would still be decent revenue, obviously, or have it be $50 and help 10, or now $100 help like a lot more people. And that's basically what you have to keep in mind when doing something that is on a very big scale. Make it accessible for a lot of people, otherwise they're going to be left out and you're going to hurt the community rather than help it.
I remember, we're probably going to wrap up soon, but I remember for like when I started on Instagram, I felt like such a sellout to put anything out there, and I had like massive doubts on myself. I was like, who am I? Sort of like imposter syndrome times 100,000. It's like, why me? Why would I sell something like this? And I put like a really small price on it, and then when like I sort of started experimenting with the business stuff more, I increased the price until I found like sort of the cap for my audience and for like my communities. Like if I go above that, I'm probably gonna more hurt myself than like.
But if you 10x your audience, right? So pricing is always the perceived value. So how much do I think your art is worth or your time is worth against the price? So if I feel like your art is worth like $50 and you charge $200, I think like no.
No.
But if you charge 20, I also think like that's weird.
But I think it's more about the skills that they
Yeah,
learn,
no,
yeah.
of course, but the better you get, the better
Sure.
or bigger name you get, the higher the perceived value. And this goes for Stan as well. The more his brand grows, maybe the more, unfortunately, in your niche, the more shredded you get. Some people find that, which is a very toxic thing, which we'll talk about some other day. But the more I think your shit is worth, the more I'm willing to pay. And your perceived value when you started and had 5K followers was maybe like $20 for a
That's
thing.
true.
And
Yeah.
now it's much higher.
I guess so. In a way, you could look at it the best way is you not even have to be shredded. It's like your status. So if I would come out with a workout course, obviously I have a decent, or if someone else that's like just started out with YouTube has 10,000, and he gets, everyone gets the same amount of like percentage sales. The perceived value basically for someone that has 10,000 subscribers would be like $10 for a course maximum. For me, that would maybe like be, I don't know, $90, what it is right now. But if The Rock would come out with a $500 program, it's going to be similar in terms of percentage that we get
sure.
in terms of sales.
Yeah.
It's quite. I mean, yeah, it makes
It's
sense.
basically how it works.
It is about. It's also about a lot about status with anything when it comes to investing, NFTs, whatever. If someone as we said, like if someone has like a higher status sort of, and who is also like part of the NFT stuff, like Gary Vee. If he mentions a project, this project immediately is like everyone's eyes in on it.
Yeah.
If you want to have lunch with Warren Buffett, you pay 200,000 euros or dollars. He does it once a year, and the money goes to charity, by the way. But it's around 200,000 euros. If you want to have lunch with us,
One lunch a year.
he gives away one lunch to anyone. Anyone can bid, basically. And I think last year they paid even over $1 million to have lunch with him. And you can ask him any question you want. Of course, he's not allowed to give any inside information.
Which I think is super interesting, considering how open he is about his investing.
Everything.
Yeah, but I mean,
Strategy
people
shit,
just
yeah.
want to pay that to have lunch for. And of course, if we would offer people, I mean, you guys, they would probably pay more for it because your brands are bigger, but it would not probably be close to 200K for a lunch. So that just says about something about the perceived value.
No, the offer will be, I'll
Pay for
buy your lunch. I'll pay for your lunch.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as you
Maybe.
pay the own
Or
car
I pay
gas.
half of your one.
Yeah. We'll split it.
Yeah. All right, let's move to our final questions. We always have a few.
right.
The first one, we've kind of discussed it, but what do you think is the next big thing?
Most likely something related to YouTube, but also one cool thing is that
Can be regarding you.
Yeah,
but
or
it can
any-
also be
yeah.
anything in the world. So like
What's the where we
we've had I would say the main answers could be like I don't know, space travel or going to the moon or going to Mars, like something that could be
We've
something
heard
that's going to be
crypto a lot.
But we've heard crypto as well, obviously NFT space, like the next big thing that all eyes are going to be on.
I think, well, now that we have been on the NFTs are going to be around for a long time. Since I'm on the art industry and my girlfriend is as well, it's like we are very obsessed with it. And I think that is going to stay for a very long time. But one thing that has been recently pretty cool is like some of my friends are going to go like to the edge of space in some sort of a balloon thing, which I thought was really
nice.
cool. And I think space travel is going to be something that is going to happen.
Oh yeah.
On like a consumer level. It's 50,000 the seat to go to space right now on that balloon flight. It doesn't go like outer space.
Friends of yours going to pay that?
Well, I think they're doing a collaboration. I don't know, but it's like a lot of the big names
Nice
on
perceived
there.
value for them then.
Yeah.
Yeah, if that's
Yeah, a lot of them are.
I feel like we did miss one thing. Like your girlfriend. How did you guys meet? And you're not from the same area.
No, so we actually, this is funny. This is also connected to Bob.
Oh no. Yes.
Well, not directly connected to Bob. So when we hosted the workshop, I had been talking to Michelle for already a while online, and then I was at the point in my life where I was literally being locked up in my office for many years, and not meet up with anyone. Like I not even with my friends that much. I was just constantly in my office working on new stuff. So we hosted the workshop together, and I was like feeling really good, like super chill and so on. And then I thought, like, why wouldn't I like go meet up with her? So I just flew to Germany for one evening.
One evening.
One evening. Well, I had the freedom to do whatever at that point. So I was like, I haven't used any of the freedom that I built for myself. So now that I have this opportunity to just go and
Yeah, but like not 24 hours, just one evening.
one evening, I was like, why not? Yeah. Oh, I just went there. We clicked immediately. It was really fun. Then we met up again in Germany for like a weekend. Then we did this crazy road trip to Lofoten. We drove 10,000 kilometers in her car from Germany. I mean, she drove from Germany to Copenhagen. I flew from Finland to Copenhagen. Then we drove to Lofoten, through Sweden, and then back. And you get to know someone pretty well when you sit in a car 10,000 kilometers with them. So yeah, that was a really cool trip. And then
I see someone behind you like really nodding her head, so she agrees.
yeah. So that's how we basically met, and then
that's cool. Yeah,
Nice.
And now it's really cool because we both are like in the creative stuff. A creative couple.
A creative couple. Nice.
all right.
No, but yeah, we enjoy doing things together and building things together. So it's like
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
Really
that's
nice.
nice. Also, Bob playing Cupido. No.
no,
yeah.
it's just connected because we had the workship
Yeah,
together.
I remember
Yeah.
you told me that at that night, like, yeah, I just decided not to fly home with the show. Oh, that's cool, but that's also weird, but that's cool.
Yeah.
Because it's mainly weird because she said, yeah, just for one night or one evening or whatever. I like, okay, well,
Like-
but it was a good choice. So
Oh,
very
yeah,
good
it ended up being
choice.
a decent choice, I guess.
It was
but-
something. It was very not me though. I never did anything like that before. But I thought like, yeah, I'm gonna just go for it.
yeah, that's good. I think
Yeah,
that's
it
a good,
It turned out well, right?
Yeah.
good advice in general for people. Just if you want to do something or step out of your comfort zone every now and then, it's
No.
you see what
Fly
can
to
happen.
Germany for one night.
Hey, last question.
What is your superpower? What do you excel at? What are you better at than others? You can brag. You can do everything. You can say how you're feeling.
What do I personally think I'm good at?
You really, yeah.
I'm pretty good at talking.
Oh yeah.
I talk
I was
a
going to
lot.
say that, but I didn't want to make the
No,
joke.
I feel like you've been maybe
I-
the easiest guest
Oh,
on
yeah,
the podcast.
probably.
But I've heard from Bob that you were like very talkative, like a lot, and we had to almost stop you. But I feel you've actually done very well in terms of actually
Thank
saying quality stuff as well.
I
A lot of quality.
I enjoy talking a lot, and I don't know how to stop. So I would just continue talking. But I would say another thing as well is that I come from very, very like normal beginnings, very like sort of humble beginnings. And I would say one of my superpowers is that I think it's impossible for me personally to go into a position in my life where everything would sort of like be about myself. Like I really love to include my family and help other people, and I think that's also partly why I have decided to like instruct a lot online and like do the courses and just try to like not make it only about me, but also like include others into it and try to like help as much as I can with the information that I've built, because I get obsessed, and when you get obsessed with something you learn a lot, and I've just decided then to share that information to others. And I think, those two things, talking and then just helping others.
Yeah, just to
That's
clarify, what we were discussing this yesterday morning, preparing the podcast, I said it could be that at some point we have to stop Julius from talking if he keeps talking. But no, that was really well.
Good.
Yeah.
No, it
It
was
was
fun.
fun.
It was a good podcast, and thank you so much for being on here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
It's
you're
a cool studio. Anyone who's like watching on YouTube, you only see it in videos, but it's super cool.
Nice, thanks.
definitely.
All right. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode as well. If you're on YouTube, make sure to smash the link, hit the bell, and subscribe. And
All the links are in the description or in the show notes.
And please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I need more subscribers. Just kidding.
we'll put all the links in the description. And definitely super interesting story. Thank you, man. And we'll
you.
catch everyone in the next episode. Baba booey.